We'll turn it down a little bit. All right, one second. There we go. There we go. That's set up. What's going on, guys? Early stream, huh? Down from Door, Alabama. Brandon, what's going on? Look at all this rainfall for the desert. Ay, ay, ay. Let me try something here. Can I overlay this with satellite? Yeah, let's overlay this with satellite, but not long wave. Let's do, I can actually probably change this to Conus. Okay, there we go. Then we can do some, we got our water vapor here. Dry air, clean infrared, long wave, CO2 band. That's interesting. We can just do it with our clouds. Look at this. Look at this thing. Very tropical-like. Am I wrong? Moving up the coast. All right, we're going to get started here in a second. I mean, we've also got tons of moisture out there in the desert southwest, though. Crazy. Oh, let's people get in here. What's going on, guys? I know, early stream, huh? What is going on? Long time no see. As quick as Karen showed, she disappeared. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was a very unimpressive Karen. Yeah, I'm streamed early today because I was unable to stream last night. My wife was out at some haunted house, whatever Halloween thing with her friends all night. So I had the kids and they didn't want to go to bed. So probably not responsible of me to, probably not that responsible of me to stream while my little kids are running around. You know what I'm saying? So I was going to get up and post a video this morning and I was like, you know what? Not much has changed since I posted my video yesterday. So I was like, let me just get on and stream and talk about it instead. So once people get in here, we're going to start. We'll get into everything. Got a good amount of snow coming into the northern Rockies. Ohio winter. Average to above average snow and well below temperatures. Cold winter. Especially on the front end of it. That's the kind of prediction right now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably not going to have a ton of viewers in this one just because of the time that I'm on. I never get a ton of viewers early. When I stream early, only late. Someone said, why do I prefer the NAM model over the HRRR in a comment the other day? Well, I prefer the NAM 3K over the HRRR because the HRRR has been garbage lately. It comes in waves for me with what model. you'll see like a month or two where one model is getting everything correct, and then you'll see like the next month suddenly that model sucks, and then a different short range is suddenly getting everything correct. So you just have to watch. And the HRRR, like especially the HRRR have been struggling over the last few months. I don't know if they're like, I feel like sometimes they make adjustments to the algorithm, or they update the algorithm, and they think it's going to be better and it's worse, and they're just quietly fixing it behind the scenes, because it definitely gets tweaked, because you can't have a super accurate model then suddenly it's not accurate. If it's using all the same getting all the same data from the getting its data from the same places and using the same algorithm, they have to be tweaking it. Imagine if this was a winter nor'easter. This would be, oh yeah. If we were in, well, first of all, although this isn't expected to be like super damaging, we're gonna have a lot of rainfall and some gusty conditions, 40, 45, 50 mile per hour winds coming into the coast. But if this were winter, you would have feet of snow moving up the coast right here, up towards the mid-Atlantic and New England as well. Feet of snow, because this is our cool side. This is the warm side. This is your warm edge right here. And this would be funneling moisture into freezing air if this was winter, yeah, with this type of setup. 100%. I'm so mad the Eagles lost to the Giants. I'm so happy they lost. Listen. The Eagles are so bad. They're the most exciting play, the most exciting 60 seconds watching the Eagles that game was watching them do 4 tush pushes in a row and watching them false start on 2 out of those 4 tush pushes and it not be called. They're so boring. They're so boring. All the owners came out and said that they wanted it banned, and they were going to ban it. And then Jason Kelce came out and apparently gave a big speech saying how they shouldn't ban it. And then they ended up not banning it. So they took the word from a retired Eagle and didn't ban it, but they said that it's likely being banned next year. I can't stand it. They're such a boring team to watch. They win, but they're just boring. All right. Hold up, guys. Let's get started here. Yeah, you won the Super Bowl because you stole Saquon from us. Saquon won me the Super Bowl. I don't know what's going on with him this year, though. How about the impact's going to be? We can get into that. Let's take a look at some things. We can overlay this with an outlook. We'll take the satellite off. All right, let's take a look at a rainfall. Why did they switch this? Excessive rainfall, multi-day. There we go. Here's our 72-hour rainfall up the coast. You can see some nice rainfall numbers in here. Pushing up 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches locally along the coast. So lots of rainfall out here, obviously. That's pretty obvious. We're going to see some gusty conditions. We can go over that. Look at the southwest as well. Lots of rainfall. Let's take a look at the models right here. I'll turn this off. I'll put the satellite back on. And let's take a look at some of our models. I don't want to look there. We'll go to Pivotal. Okay. That's fine. And don't forget on TikTok, you can turn your phone sideways so you can see my screen much bigger. All right. Okay, so let's look at model. We'll look at our NAM 3K. Not that one. NAM 3K. What is going on? Why is it only giving me... That's okay, sorry. I got to switch what's going on here. Let's look at... Yeah, reflectivity is fine, but this is not what I'm trying to look at. All right, we'll go down here to the southeast. This new update's annoying me from Pivotal. Here we go. Going into... We're in Saturday. Moving into Sunday. This is Sunday afternoon. A lot of this weather starts moving into Maryland, Delaware, Jersey, Long Island, Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon. And then we have another low pressure system that's moving in from the north here that's going to try to pull a lot of this moisture in as well. So we've got a low here, and these are going to try to dance around each other like this. So this is going to pull a lot of moisture in. And it's going to keep our low pressure pretty deep, 994 still. And then our system's just going to start spinning here. And this is going to be a really strong inland flow. This is when we're going to have some pretty decent winds probably right here off the coast. We can look at our wind gusts. Here we go. And we're seeing wind gusts potentially 50. We could even get 50. Yeah, 60. We could even get 60 mile per hour wind gusts out here as we get to Sunday afternoon. Look at these. And they're coming pretty far inland as well. They're coming pretty far inland into the Hudson Valley, Connecticut, obviously coastal New England, Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, and the Carolinas down here. We're talking some pretty strong winds. I mean, you're going to have easily tropical storm force gusts. You could end up getting a hurricane force gust out here. So yeah, and your sustain's going to be pretty high as well. It's funny, you can see this thing. Doesn't it look like a hurricane? There's your high when you look at the winds. Doesn't it look like that? So it's going to be pretty gusty up there Sunday and then into Monday as well. Those winds are going to stick around. Saturday you should be looking pretty good though. Or today you should be looking pretty good until we get into the late evening hours, maybe 10, 11 p.m. I keep forgetting what day it is. Total quantitative precipitation from the NAM. There you go. You'll see this says, I mean, we have some areas down here that are suggesting 3-4 inches, 5 inches. This says 6.5 inches. Oops. That says 6.5 inches down there. Coastal Carolina. We're going to have locally some higher totals in this, though. We're going to have locally some areas that just receive a lot more rainfall. So flash flooding is a concern. Flash flooding, high winds. It's going to feel like a little bit tropical, I'll tell you that. Yeah, we can get into that, Dalton. Listen, Dalton, the more snowpack that there is up to our north and the more sea surface ice there is up to our north in the Arctic, it allows for cold air to be transferred over the surface easier. It just enhances typically your cold air push into the states, so that can amplify your troughs more. You have troughs digging down deeper. You have a lot colder air. It also creates more of an imbalance between your mid to low latitudes and your upper latitudes, which is when you get steeper troughs, you get larger ridges, and those ridges can push into our vortex, our polar vortex, and disrupt our tropospheric and stratospheric polar vortex. So a lot of ice and snow up north before winter starts. It doesn't just affect Ohio, it affects everyone in the states. Jasmine, Tina, Katie, B, what's going on? But yeah, wind gusts and rainfall out here are a thing. I mean, look at these gusts, guys. Look at this. Widespread. We're seeing 58 miles per hour here. We could easily get a hurricane force gust out here on Sunday. Or yeah, Sunday would probably be when we have the strongest gusts. So I quickly want to mention what's going on down in the Southwest. Let's take a look down here. You're not as expected to have as gusty of conditions, but you can see we get into the 40s. We can get a 50 mile per hour gust out here. Reflectivity, I guess I can go into the severe weather reflectivity. Here we go. It's mainly just moisture, though. I mean, there's the chance for some severe weather up here today. I think we'll have to watch this region. A little bit of just discrete cell setup. I don't know that the instability is really going to be here, though. We can take a look at our cape. Our surface-based cape. I mean, there's a little bit of instability here, but I'm not that scared of, let's see, what, 1,300 joules per kilogram of cape. Oh, we got 1,800 joules per kilogram of cape at the surface. Not too bad, but this is we're not gonna have any initiation if this is how our storm set up. So could get some severe weather out here. We do have a little bit of severe weather. Let's see. Let's go into our forecast. Yeah, we have a SBC outlook today out here. There it is. 4-panel. This is mainly for hail and wind. No tornado threat out here today. I do believe there is a tornado threat, though, out east. Let's go to our 4-panel. There is. So let's take a look at this. Carolina coast today. Tornado threat. I'm gonna answer your questions in 1 second, guys. Let me dive into this really quickly. Let's pull back up our NAM 3K. I'll pull up our Rufus, actually. And let's take a look at what's going on reflectivity wise. Okay. Yeah, you can see some right here. You can see a line of cells trying to supercells trying to form on the leading edge of this low pressure system right here, moving up into the north and to the west. So yeah, I mean, Carolina coast, I'd say even Virginia, I'd say they may want to expand this up the coast like that, not just on the Carolina coast. What's our SIG tour looking like? Probably not too significant, but we'll take a look. Not too significant, but there's a SIG tour right off there off the coast of North Carolina today. Helicity. No, that's not what I want. I want storm relative helicity. Here we go. Surface. Yeah, see all that? There's good helicity here. This means violent rotation is possible. This is where the rotation is. So maybe it doesn't trek as far north as I think, but you have it off the coast as the system moves up. So we'll have to see if this kind of dissipates as it tries to move into Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, Jersey. Chances I lose power in western Mammoth County, New Jersey this weekend. You could this weekend. Listen, I lived right across the bridge from Jersey. I lived in eastern PA. Lots of old electricity poles. Anytime the wind gusted over like 35 miles per hour, our power went out because the grid is so bad there. So yeah, with the winds we could see out here, yeah, I mean, people are gonna lose power. Not everyone, but look. I can't talk. Look at some of these gusts. 50, 55, 54. We saw 58 out here coming into the coast, and we always get gusts a little bit stronger than what these projections are. It usually ends up you have like a system that pushes in a little bit more wind than we expect to. A cell. So yeah, I mean, we could get 60, 70 mile per hour gusts out here. And they go pretty far inland too. It's not just coastal. You can see we're getting up close to 40 mile per hour winds pretty far inland in some of these areas. So definitely possible for some power outages. Yeah, I was going to say 80 people is a lot for a live this early. I agree. We are expecting some snow up in the northern Rockies. Let's go northwest. I feel like I'm yelling into my mic. Let me know if I'm too loud. All right. Northwest. Here we go. Good amount of snow. I mean, we can even see a foot and a half up here through western Montana. Big sky. So that's coming in here. I do want to show you guys what's going on with our latest temperature anomalies. What's happening moving forward here. United States. Temps. Typical fall pattern. Nothing's changed. Ready? Heat coming back in here towards the plains. Stays a little bit cool out east. This is because of our nor'easter. Our awkwardly early nor'easter. Our no fun nor'easter, because we like nor'easters with snow, not rain. Heat ridge bills up in the plains as we get into this Monday. And then we have all this cold air sinking back into the west. Enjoy this while you can. especially out here. I would say through portions of the southern Rockies and Southwest, because you're probably going to have a big heat up. I would think within 2 weeks that might stick around for a little bit. So you're going to want to enjoy this cool air. Plains, ridge sticks around for a little bit there, potentially for a week with some heat again. This is not going to be fun. And then, of course, it's fall. The Euro eventually does push that heat out, and we get another cool down for a big majority of the states around October 21st. At least that's what the latest Euro is thinking. But we may have, we may going into next week see temperatures 10 to 20 degrees above average in the plains for maybe 6-7 days before we get that pushed out again, and then we get another round of cold air. Not too surprising. This is what happens over fall. But we are expecting, with the climate pattern we're in, to we're expecting that ridge to build up, that blocking to build up in Greenland. Once that blocking builds up in Greenland, this cold air is going to push in, and instead of, I'm just going to stick around for 3 days and then out, and then more hot air comes in, once we get that block set up to the northeast, we're going to have this cold air settle in, and then it's just going to stick around. It's just going to linger, and we'll have more cold air and more cold air. That's what happens when you get a negative NAO. But until then, we're going to continue to see these warm, cold transitions, because we have nothing blocking these. We have nothing blocking this cool air from moving out. It's going to keep on going there until we get that blocking out to the east. So taking a look at a little bit further out and taking a look at our heights, 500 millibar height anomaly. Here comes the block. Here's the block trying to set up. This would be a little bit too far to our north. We'd actually want this a little bit farther out, but our block is trying to set up out here. As you can see there, and when it does, you can see what happens with this cold air as it moves in. It kind of gets stuck. But if our block sets up too far to the west like this, we may see our cold air run out again. So it all depends up where that sets up. Let's take a look at the GFS. The GFS sees that blocking setting up to our northeast as well, but it doesn't have it sticking around. So we'll have to see. That this is going to be interesting to see where this big ridge wants to set up here, because that's going to determine how long our cooldowns last as we're transitioning into winter. Let me take a look actually at the northern hemisphere. What's going on up in the Arctic? We're getting a lot of interference in our tropospheric polar jet here, as you can see. But we really want we're going to want interference in our stratospheric polar vortex, which means we're going to need some high heights up around Greenland and some high heights up around Alaska as well. Let's move this through. It's pretty disrupted here, but here, let me take a look at something else here. Let's see if we can take a look at our stratosphere. Let's do our 50 millibar stratospheric anomaly. I'll do a 10 millibar. There we go. So you can tell we do have somewhat of a warming pattern up here with our stratospheric polar vortex, and we kind of have this cooler blob sitting a little bit farther down into the into North America than it should be. So it's not a very organized stratospheric polar vortex right now. One second, guys. I'm looking at this for the first time with you, so I'm trying to form my opinions on this. If we were to see this pattern continue over the next month, we'd probably get some pretty big polar breaks down into Europe and down into North America. But I don't know, it's hard to tell. It's too early to tell if we're going to see this pattern continue. So this, what you're seeing here, is a very cold anomaly in the stratosphere. But this is not the surface. So you can have all this cold air up here, but there can be a lot of warm air beneath it. What actually happens is, typically when you start to see this and you see warm air pushing in in the stratosphere towards North America, that's when you actually get cold air squeezed out down into the States. So you wouldn't really want this right here, even though it looks like it's a really cold blob for us down here. This is actually a little bit warmer down at the surface. You'd want some of this warmer stratospheric air to actually push down over northern North America to get some of that colder air down over the lower 48. So it's an interesting setup right now. The end of this does look like that's what it's trying to do out towards October 27th, end of October, trying to bring that warmer stratospheric air up down through Canada and Alaska. But that's a little too far out. I don't want to trust the end of this run right now. Your internet went out? So we'll wait and see once that gets a little bit closer. Positive EPO here suggests potentially another Alaskan ridge as well. That would be, this kind of aligns with what we were just looking at with our stratospheric vortex as we build up this positive EPO out here towards the end of October as well. So, all right. Anyways, who has some questions? Canes or Popeyes? Canes. It's not even a question. All thumbs, I appreciate you. I don't know if you watch BAM Weather, but they've been saying the first start of November could be colder than average. Well, we've seen a lot. Look, the last 2 weeks of September was hot for everyone, or from coast to coast, and we knew we were going to get lots of cold air beginning to sink in October, or not cold air, but below average. It's about averages. It's about anomalies. We've seen a lot of cold anomalies already through the first 11 days of October. There's been a lot of cold anomalies, especially out east and out west. The plains have had a little bit, but we're starting to see the push and pull of warm and cold anomalies. From everything that we're looking at and everything that I'm looking at, that should get a lot more intense as we get into the end of October. I mean, we were looking at that. If what I was looking at with the stratospheric polar vortex anomaly getting into the last week of October, with that heat of the stratosphere moving over Canada, Alaska, northern North America, that would suggest a squeeze of cold air down into the States. And that would probably, but again, even with a setup like that, we're going to want some blocking out to the east of us to hold the cold air into the States. That's where our Enzo comes in, though. And that's where our, let's go back here. That's where this comes in. Let's go to our climate reanalyzer. Sea surface temperatures. Subpolar North Atlantic. Our subpolar North Atlantic is very cold right now. Very cold. It's here. It was here last year. I'll show you. Sorry, I'm not showing you the screen. It's very cold. This is going to build up. This is going to create a larger temperature and pressure gradient between the sea, the North Atlantic subpolar sea, and the North American landmass. That gradient there is what can help set up our negative NAO, our negative North Atlantic oscillation. So say what we were looking at there with our stratospheric polar vortex anomaly was correct, and we get some of that disruption and heat building up and a higher pressure building up in the stratosphere, and that begins to sink down into North America, into northern North America. That can squeeze that cold air in, and that can give us more of an amplified troughing pattern off of our weak La Nina zone. We know we're going to have a nice polar jet from that. And those two things combined are why a lot of people, or any weather enthusiast or meteorologist who's paying attention to these things should think, I think, that the end of October and the beginning of November is going to be very cold, or we're going to have some very cold periods in there, some very cold air that's going to stick around as well. But again, there's so many factors, because you can have that disruption in the stratospheric polar vortex and that cold air being squeezed down to the States, and your polar jet doing the right thing off of our weak La Nina Enzo. But it doesn't matter if your negative NAO pattern doesn't set up correctly. The waters start to warm in the subpolar North Atlantic, or you're not seeing that drastic pressure and temperature gradient building up off the East Coast. So it's like I wish it was easy enough to just be like, oh, look, polar jet disruption. That means cold. Well, it could. Oh, enhanced, weak La Nina polar jet. Warm NPL, enhanced storm track. Okay. Well, none of that matters if we don't have a certain blocking pattern, or we have a big low pressure or troughing setup over Alaska. A lot of things need to go right. But a lot of things are looking right. You know what I mean? There's a reason there's 80-90% confidence in temperatures, below average temperatures during a weak La Nina, because a lot of these things happen. And the reason they happen is our polar jet setting up the way it sets up in a weak La Nina kind of forces some of this stuff. They're all sort of interrelated. They all affect each other. So I'm still pretty confident in everything. I was gonna make an updated winter weather forecast or winter forecast, but also I'm looking at my winter forecast that I put out, and there's really not much I would change. It's still looking accurate. So the only thing is with that cold anomaly in the North Atlantic subpolar region, I'm considering upping my snow forecast for the Mid-Atlantic and New England coast. Earlier stream, I've seen Connor Dude. Tufts, what's up? Yeah, join the Discord. Guys, I want to show you something here. Real quick. This is like a one-stop shop for everything weather here. If you like weather, let me show you something here real quick, okay? Promise you haven't seen something like this. Promise you. All right, streamer mode's enabled. Here's the Discord, all right? We got mod stuff going on. We got announcements every day, or at most days I make announcements and I say, hey, here's what's going on and here's what to pay attention to today. Here's what to pay updates every day, every single day, every single morning. I only have one weather training video. I'll be putting out a lot. This one was on the SKU-T portion of soundings, but I'm going to be putting out all sorts of weather training videos in here. We've got our chats. That's great. Daily weather updates. Every single day, every single thing in here is updated. So here you go. Here's your day one severe weather threat, and it's posted in the morning. Here's your tornado threat today. There it is out on the Carolina coast. Here's your wind threat today. It's all from NOAA. Extended forecast, 4-day severe weather forecast. Here's your hurricane update today. Anything that's going on out there. Here's your day one excessive rainfall and rainfall totals. Snowfall updates today. We're getting some snowfall up there in the Rockies. Temperatures. Here's your day one temperature minimums, maximums, 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook, 8 to 14 day temperature probability outlook. Wildfire updates. Where should you be concerned about wildfires today? Earthquakes in the last 24 to 48 hours. Where were they from strongest to weakest in the States? Here's our drought monitor. Volcano updates. Most recent volcano activity going on around the world. Here's our ENSO updates. Sometimes we have bigger ENSO updates like this that goes over everything. Sometimes I just want to show you guys what our Nino 3.4 index is looking like and what our sea surface temperature anomalies are. Winter storm updates. I did just post this today. We're expecting some heavy snow up there through portions of Idaho, Montana, northwestern Wyoming, potentially over 1.5 feet in some areas. So I posted that in there. That counts as a winter storm. Storm reports. If there was bad weather the day before, anywhere where bad weather was reported will be reported in storm reports. You can look it up. Record-breaking weather. Anytime there's a record broken, temperature record, rainfall record, snowfall record, wind record, anywhere in the States, it goes directly into here. The NWS bot pulls it directly from the National Weather Service. Also, this Discord is linked directly with the NWS through a bot. So the second the second a tornado warning is issued in the United States, it gets immediately posted into here. You can see where it is, all the parameters. Hey, I want to get a summary of it. Click summary, and then you can say, hey, I live here. Will this tornado hit my house? You can ask the AI, and it'll say, hey, you should be safe, or you should take shelter. Severe thunderstorm warnings, second it's issued, it's posted. Flood warnings, PDS, emergency alerts, tornado watches, hurricane warnings, everything. Anytime there's an SPC update, immediately post it. National Hurricane Center update, Weather Prediction Center update, space weather. We just got a space weather update. K-index, we have a geomagnetic storm K-index of 5. This is 7 hours ago from the Space Weather Prediction Center, SWPC. And that's nothing to worry about. The G index, if this was a G5 magnetic storm, I'd say freak out. But this is a K index of 5 would be a G1 magnetic storm. Anyways, NWS key messages, mesoscale analysis, anything. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering where I get all my information from, here's all our weather links. I need to add a lot more into here though. So I'm not hiding where I get all my information from and where all this good stuff is. It's in here. Resources, weather links, and then you can also come in here and give me channel ideas. Hey, what should I add to the Discord? And we're gonna make it happen. Anyways, and of course we've got our general chat, hangout, all the people in here. We've got weather memes, you know what I mean? People post their animals, you know. Karen forms in the North Atlantic, or in the Atlantic. Anyways, it's pretty awesome, guys. So if you want to join. It's free right now. It's eventually going to be a subscription, but it's free. You can just add me on Connor's Climate Corner HQ. Connor's Climate Corner HQ. I'll get you in there, and you can become a part of the Climate Crew, and you can actually help with the Discord. We just want to make it better and better and better. We need to have the best weather platform on planet Earth. That's the end. That's the end game. When does Minnesota usually see its first flakes of the season? October, but not always. It almost all you've got like a 60-70% chance to see snow in November. You've got maybe like usually it's like a 50-50 whether you see snow. I would say northern Minnesota. I would say the state of Minnesota usually sees snow in October because you usually get at least some flakes into northern Minnesota. If we're talking about Minneapolis, typically the earliest you're going to see snow is like the last week of October, and then early November typically is when you can see your first flakes. So, I mean, up here right now, October 11th, it wouldn't be like crazy if there was snow in Minneapolis, but that'd be a little bit early. What's the Discord? Connor's Climate Corner HQ. It's just my name and then HQ. You can add me. You can search me on Discord and add me as a friend. And at the end of each day, I go in and see who added me, and or not the end of each day, just periodically during the day. I'll add, and then I'll send you an invite. Once you accept the invite, I have to go in and I make you part of the Climate Crew so you can see everything on there. You can also follow channels you want to follow. If you don't care about flash flood warnings, getting a notification every time there's one, don't follow the channel. If you live out in the plains, you live in Oklahoma, and you want to be notified anytime there's a tornado warning or a PDS alert, so you can even say, I don't care about tornado warnings. I only care about strong tornado warnings, like an EF3 plus or EF2 plus. Then just follow that channel and you'll get it notified right away. Can we get some cooler weather? Sure, we will be getting some cooler weather. It's going to be coming in and out. Yeah, the link is on my TikTok profile as well. Yeah. Just a casual meme post by Arcantori. Any hurricane activity in Tampa in the next 7 to 10 days? Oh yeah, I haven't really gone over the tropical update today. We can do that. There's some interesting stuff happening. I think Tampa's got nothing to worry about in the near future, but we could have possible TCG out here in about 186 hours on the GFS. It's possible. It's not crazy. We could see that happen. GFS wants to bring the storm up into the Caribbean and then cut it up here. But I'd say we want to keep our eye on this. Any potential track like this. Here, sorry, let me get back to it. I gotta get back to Pivotal so you can see what I'm talking about. Here you go. So we'll see. We'll see. This is a GFS. You know, it's too far out to take the tracking or anything too serious, but you can see what the I shouldn't have showed this. You can see what the OOZ run did last night. It has a category 5 running straight into Key West in Miami. But again, it's already changed its mind on that. That's why you don't, or is this the 06Z from last night, the OOZ? It's already changed its mind on that. Because that's what happens when you're too early. You're going to see adjustments in the models. No problem. Correct, Leanne. Hey, did you guys see anyone, did anyone make any post about this on social media to get a bunch of clicks? There has to have been someone who looked at the end of the OOZ GFS and made a post about this. Yeah. Anyone who made a post pointing this out at 384 hours, well, you could point it. Someone can make a post pointing it out and saying, as long as they're saying it's unlikely to happen, don't worry, but just showing the run. But anyone who made a post and was like, we need to watch out, Category 5 hurricane in Florida. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but if you want to know how accurate, how many times the GFS has been correct at 384 hours out, maybe 1 in a million. Never trust anything 24 hours out. No, you can trust things 24 hours out. You definitely can. You can trust things way more than 24 hours out. You don't want to trust things 24 days out. You know? I would say when it comes to days in the tropics, 7 days out is the farthest, or 5 days out is the farthest you should have like a somewhat good trust in. Anything past 5 days gets really, 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 really shady. Yeah, you could push it to 7, 5 to 7. It depends. If you have like agreement across every model, then maybe you're like, okay, I'll trust up to 7 days out. You know, it just depends if you how your model consensus is. So, Jazzy Pizza, what's going on? I wish I lived up in Buffalo to get all the lake effect snow. Oh, they're going to get so much lake effect snow this year, I think. They're probably going to have a good lake effect snow year. All right. All right, who added me on Discord? I saw someone. All right, Jazzy Pizza, I got you. I'm ready. I'm going to send you an invite to the Discord. Connor's Climate Corner. All right, you got the invite, and then once you accept that, I'll make you a member. A member of the Climate Crew. Yeah, once we get to 500 in here, it's going to become subscription-based. But anyone who gets in the Discord now, like, I'm not going to make you start paying a subscription once we get to 5. You're just going to be in for free forever. Because we want to encourage people hopping in the channel now while we're building it. And I'm going to be putting in a lot of work into this. So, yeah, whenever you accept that, I'll update you. All right. Anyways, that's what's going on with the tropics. Yeah, actually, I want to look at something. I want to look at something with you guys. We really need to look at something. Okay. Here's a snapshot of our shear environment right now. Favorable environment for development in here. In the Caribbean, very favorable environment in the Caribbean right now for development. Very favorable environment shear-wise. But what are we looking at? So, yeah, what are we looking at? Okay, so you've got very little shear right now in the Caribbean, and you've got very little dry air. If we were to get some sort of spin on this, if we were to get some sort of low pressure floating into this region, right now, we could quickly see the NHC label an AOI in here, and we could get some tropical development. This is a very favorable environment. This is the most, look how much dry air is in the Gulf. This is the most favorable environment probably the Caribbean's had all year. Low shear, very little dry air. I'm surprised they're not labeling that convection. Well, let's take a look at that convection that's spinning down there. Actually, I'm gonna go to Radar Omega. All right, Jazzy Pizza, you're part of the Climate Crew. You should be able to see everything. Welcome to the Climate Crew. Let's quickly take a look at Radar Omega satellite, and let's go down to Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean. So we know that there's very little dry air down here, and we know that there's very little shear. I mean, you can just look at this here and tell there's very little shear. Tons of shear out here funneling through. This is a lot of shear out there. So we have convection. Now, they're not expecting any sort of vorticity to form out here. Although I'd keep our eye on this. Looking at the guys, this is going to be hard to say. Favorability. Look at the favorability of the Caribbean right now, dry air shear wise, with this Big pocket of moisture here. Convection. Favorably. No, not favorably. Not favorably. Favorability. The favorability. Not see, that's I almost said favorably, and I was like, wait, it's favorability. Yeah, I would think that the National Hurricane Center would be watching this for development, and if it were to develop, you know, at this time of year, it would move up towards the states. But they're not too concerned with this right now. Obviously, they're not expecting a ton. They're not expecting any sort of cyclonic. Or any sort of vorticity to push us into any sort of cyclonic motion here. So it's just going to be a blob of rain. If it doesn't form a central low pressure and get that, you know, get that spin, nothing's going to happen with this. It's just gonna move over Central America. So I guess we'll see. I'm a little bit surprised that they don't have an AOI here, though. I almost want to look now and see if they if they're going to put one on it. All right, they don't have one on it, but I think they might soon. We'll see. We'll see. You can tell look, you can tell what's going on. The difference between this, you can see the spin right in here, right? You can see the spin in here. There's nothing going on here. You have a southeasterly flow with this convection that's coming off of the tail of this kind of tropical storm low pressure up here. So, but interesting. Something to watch out for. You sent the friend request? All right, let's do it. Let's see. I got 2 more. Nice. All right, we'll get both of you in here. Here we go. Connor's Climate Corner, and then Connor's Climate Corner. Cool. And then as soon as you accept those, I'll add you in here. Just put this back up. Anyone out here on the coast here? You guys are probably getting dumped on right now. I'll turn the satellite off so this loads a little bit quicker. We do currently have only 1 active alert. And what is that active alert? Okay, we have a flash flood, considerable damage threat flash flood warning out here in Arizona. This is, I'm going to say this wrong, but you know, Yavapai County in west central Arizona. Sorry if I butchered that. No, sorry that I butchered that because I know none of that was probably right. Life-threatening flash flooding of creeks and streams, normally dry, washes urban areas, highways, streets, and underpasses. So, yeah, pay attention out here. We're going to see a lot more of that. We're likely going to see some more flash flood warnings out through portions of New Mexico, Arizona, potentially Colorado and Utah as well over the coming days. You're expected to have excessive rainfall out there for another 4 or 5 days straight. I said it right the first time. Okay, let me think about how I said it the first time. I said Yavapai? Or was it Yavapai? Oh, Yavapai. Okay, good. Nice. Oh, I almost wanted to say Yavapi. Connor, please watch my vids. They would make you cringe. Why would I want to watch the vids if they're going to make me cringe? You know what I mean? All right. Yeah, guys, I sent you the invite. So once you accept that, I should be able to see you in here, and I should be able to make you part of the climb crew. But I have to set that as your role. Possible hurricane in Florida soon. It's that possible hurricane in October. I mean, we've got a good setup for tropical activity still out in the Atlantic and Caribbean and Gulf moving forward. So we'll see what happens. But it's not rare to get hurricanes in Florida in October, even early November. It's not rare. So or in and around that region. Okay, what's going on? I appreciate you. being reported that Norfolk is closing its floodgates. Wait, Norfolk where? Virginia? I mean, it's probably smart. You're going to have, you're actually probably, and I haven't really even talked about this, you're probably going to get some surge from this because of this inland flow. And I think that's concerning for areas in here like Hampton, Norfolk, Carlton, Virginia Beach, you know? So I wonder if we can take a look at, yeah, I think I can look at that. Give me a second. Surge potential here. Swell. Let me see here. Let's see if we can take a look at swell projections. Yeah. Yeah. So you can see here the swell that's going to be coming in off the coast. We're talking 13 feet. Coming inland here, 7 feet. Let me see if I can look at this in a little bit of a different of a way. Look at our waves out here. Big waves coming into the coast. 10-foot waves. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's take a look. I want to get a different view of this. Windy's being a little bit laggy right now, so I might look at it in a different way. Let's see. SSTs, tidal currents. You can see here. I mean, look what this is bringing into the coast. And this is going to be this is going to be coming in from the east northeast. So a little bit of a potential surge issue out here. A little beach erosion. I don't think it's going to be too dangerous, but something we should pay attention to. I think there should be a better way. Actually, the NHC might actually, even though this isn't a tropical system, the NHC might be talking about this. Let me see. Let me see here. Let's do this. Okay, here we go. Is this current? Okay, yeah, no, this isn't current. We want current. Noah, come on. Yeah, Outer Banks, again, lots of rainfall and a little bit of surge. We're seeing totals of potentially 6 to 7 inches in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. That's what I'm worried about. Oh, this shows, so this is interesting. This shows what the surge would be like with like a category 5. Okay, yeah, but this isn't what I'm looking for, but that's actually a cool page for the future. Yeah, I don't need this. I want live. Can you provide me with a live graphic, please? Okay, so we do have some. I think this is live. We do have some coastal flood advisories out here. Yeah, October 11th. Okay, so we do have them. This is out here in North Carolina. But I need this, yeah, zoom out, please. Access denied. Okay. Why do they make it so hard to find some of this stuff here? That's what I need as well. Every now and then I'm streaming and I think of something to add to my Discord. I should have like an interactive surge map. Look, I got space weather, but they don't have my interactive surge map here. Thanks. I care a lot more about storm surge than I care about space weather. Although, don't get me wrong, space weather is cool. Yeah, but I could look at flood warnings, but I do want to see. Here, this might show me here. No. So let's see. This actually may be it. This may be updated. No, see, this is old. This is exactly what we need. We just need it to be live. This is a perfect map. It's just not live. You see, you can. I have one of these links. I've used it before. I just don't remember what it is. But you can take a look live at how far they expect or what they expect surge impacts to be. And I have used the site before. I just can't remember where it is right now, which is annoying. I wonder if Tropical Tidbits would have it. Ocean analysis. No. All right, whatever. Listen, we're not expecting life-threatening storm surge, okay? But there's going to be some beach erosion, there's going to be some high tides, and there could be some coastal flooding. So if this was more important, if this was like a Cat 3, Cat 4 storm, the NHC would have all the storm surge reports on there and how far they expect the water to come in and stuff like that. Because it's posted everywhere, all over NOAA and all over the NHC when that's happening. They're just not putting one out for this because it's like technically not a tropical storm, but there's a lot of tropical moisture and it has a lot of tropical storm or tropical cyclone characteristics to it. So there's going to be a little bit of surge with it. What's going on, Michael? Guys, maybe since I didn't put out a video today, I should just do my video right now live with you, and then I can crop out this from my live stream and post it as my video. And I can call your guys' names out while I'm doing it. Okay. Let's just review everything that's going on today. What's going on with winter? What's going on with our nor'easter? What's going on in the southwest? What's going on with our snow? And let's look at the new European 32 days snowfall outlook. Where the European thinks we could have snowfall in the next 32 days. And I'll crop this. We'll make it a video. Is the music too loud? Should I turn it up or turn it down? What do we think? I usually have all my links set up though, so I can just click on stuff. I don't have anything set up in any order. Let me do that real quick. Okay, we got to get our wind set up. That's good. We got to get pivotal weather. We got to get our rainfall. We want to talk about rainfall on the East Coast. We'll do 48-hour quantitative precipitation. No, we'll do 120. That's fine. Well, total. Okay, that's better. Okay. I'm just setting it up, guys. I'm just setting it up. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Set it up, and we're just gonna make a video live. Start with my name. Your name always looks like Borgor to me, like that artist. Okay, let me get a couple more things up here. I want to show European Weekly. I know you guys can't see what I'm looking at, but I'm just trying to set something up real quick here. All right, I'll do that. Tropical outlook. Climate reanalyzer. Actually, go here, climate reanalyzer. Okay. Oh, one more thing I need to do for sure. One more thing I need to do here for sure. Rufus. Let's see. Someone just walked up to my door. I don't know who he is. All right. Let's get into this as well. We do have tornado chances out here today. Wait, let's put on a different song before I go over all this stuff. Here, wait. What's a really good one? Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. I know there's a really good one here. Oh, this one. No. All right, we're gonna go over everything right now, guys. This one's kind of a banger. This is kind of bad. Okay. All right, let's go over everything. Let's go over everything, chat. BC, what's going on? Confused blonde. Salim, what's popping? Okay. Here's what's happening. Oh, let's switch back. Here we go. Here is our low pressure system right off the southeastern coast. And this is going to be moving up the eastern seaboard over the next 48 hours, bringing with it some pretty gusty conditions, 45 to 55 mile per hour gusts, potentially more in some areas. And it's going to bring probably, we'll say 3, 4, 5, 6+ inches locally up and down the coast here. Really quickly, moving into our rainfall totals out here. There we go. Now, from South Carolina all the way up through coastal Maine, that's our main area of concern. Of course, along the coast, because we're going to have that northeasterly flow, we could get a little bit of beach erosion. We could get a little bit of surge, a little bit extra coastal flooding. So if you're along the coast here and out, that's where you're going to have higher winds as well. So if you're along the coast here, pay attention. Make sure you have your weather alerts on. We could get some flooding, some flash flooding inland. We could get some pretty gusting conditions inland. Power outages are possible up and down the coast here over the next 24 to 48 hours. So just make sure you're paying attention to that. Now, we are getting a lot of rainfall as well down here in the southwest. A lot more than we normally do in the desert. That is why from the SPC, we have excessive rainfall threats. Day 1, Day 2, Day 3, Day 4, Day 5. When's the last time you saw 5 days of excessive rainfall threats in a desert? So if you're out here, flash flooding is possible. We do also have a little bit of a severe weather threat out here today. Here we go. Portions of Utah, western New Mexico, most of Arizona, western Colorado, and southwestern Wyoming. I almost forgot what that state was, guys. 4-panel. This is just for wind and hail. We do not have a tornado threat out here today. But we do have a tornado threat. However, eastern North Carolina, you can see it right there. If you take a look at our Rufus model, here we go. You can actually see some of these supercells forming here on the future radar, on the outer or leading edge of our low pressure system or nor'easter, which, by the way, we typically don't see this time of year. We typically see these in wintertime. Now, this right here is at around 6. Oh, I'm not going to say it. I almost said the meme. At around, we'll just say 7 p.m. We'll say 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I would say as we get into the evening hours, the later evening hours, pay attention here, have weather alerts on. This tornado threat could even spread a little bit up into Virginia, southeastern Maryland as well. So have your weather alerts on. Yeah, I see you, Tufts. Okay. I see it. So yeah, pay attention to that today. Now, moving on, temperature-wise, let's take a look at our latest temperature updates. We actually do not have the 12Z from the Euro, so let's take a look at the 12Z from the GFS. It's not fully loaded through. We've got some cooler conditions out east, and this is going to stick around also because we have that nor'easter moving up the coast. As we push forward in time, we're going to have another ridge building up in the Central Plains. What does this mean? A lot of heat out here in the Central Plains again, with more cold air pushing into the west. Like I said, I expect a warm-up end of October and November out west, so enjoy this for now, especially the central Rockies and southwest. That heat's going to build up. Eventually, it's going to move out east, and what we think is going to happen is more cold air is going to push in from the northwest. Now, if we go to our 12Z of Euro, 12Z Euro model run, we can see that here. As we get out towards October, we'll say 20th, 21st, here comes more cool air, potentially trying to settle in for much of the country. Listen, this is fall. This is what happens during fall. Warm air, cold air, warm air, cold air, warm air, cold air. We do expect, though, some blocking to be setting up eventually up here, and then this cold air is going to sink in and hopefully stick around. Best way to show you that is right here. Let's go off into North America. There we go, and we're in our 500 millibar height anomalies. We see this ridge building up. Now, this isn't building up directly over Greenland. It's a little bit off to the west. This may allow some of that cold air to slip out. If this ridge does build up a little bit farther out to the east here, we may get that negative NAO pattern that promotes more storm tracks for the east and cooler air to stick around in the east. So that's interesting. Quick tropical update. Not much going on. We do see possible TCG, tropical cyclone Genesis out here. There it is. Sorry. There it is. Moving into the Eastern Caribbean. We could have a low pressure system, tropical depression, tropical storm. This is about 198 hours out, so you don't want to believe this too much. This would be at around October 18th, October 19th. But our conditions are very favorable in the Caribbean right now, and they're expected to remain favorable in the Caribbean for a while. So if we did get a system moving into there, it would be an issue. Here is our favorability wind shear. This is unfavorable in the red. This is favorable in the green. The Caribbean is very favorable. We have a low wind shear in the Caribbean right now. And taking a look at our dry air, we have none in the Caribbean. So we have low shear. We have moist air here. If we did get a storm creeping into here mid to late October, that would be an issue for the state, so we need to watch that closely. Climate reanalyzer. Our subpolar North Atlantic SST is cold. This is another thing that can help set up that negative NAO in the subpolar North Atlantic. You have a cold sea surface temperatures in the subpolar North Atlantic. You have warm North America landmass. That's going to set up a temperature and pressure gradient, and that's what helps us set up that blocking over Greenland and allows cool air to sink in and stay. This can promote colder air out east and in the plains and more storm tracks. This is our European 46-day total snowfall outlook. Don't take this too seriously. We like to look at this to see how aggressive it expects our storm track and cold air to be. And with this much snow being, we'll call it forecast, and over the next 46 days, you can expect that the cool down's coming, that we're going to have somewhat of a storm track. So is snow going to fall exactly where you see it here? No, but this shows an aggressive winter pattern ahead, which is why we like looking at that. So that's everything that's going on right now. I don't think I missed anything. We decided to do this video live. So, Delista, BC. It's your boy George. Yeah, I think that's just the way to do it sometimes. We getting major rain in Arizona right now? Oh, I know, Javi. I've been seeing it. Believe me. The thing is, this would be like average rain anywhere else, but in the desert, it's heavy. You know what I mean? It's not normal for the desert. Jasmine, I appreciate you. How's the Siberian snow cover looking? It's looking juicy. It's looking spicy. Map, IMS, ice and snow, Northern Hemisphere. Look at that. Look at that. Sea ice is looking good. Siberian snow cover is looking good. It's all looking good. What's our current? Yeah, look at us float. Look at us floating right here. Right on the edge of a moderate La Nina. Wow. They predicted that curve up pretty good. This is exactly what most models thought. As we got down here, we'd start to level off and then eventually push back up into an Enzo neutral as we get to the end of winter. That's pretty accurate. It's a pretty good job by some of these models. Sea surface anomalies, very clearly we're in a La Nina. Let's go. Warm Gulf in Caribbean, that's concerning still for the end of hurricane season. And then, of course, we have a warm NPO to enhance our storm track from our winter storm track from our weak La Nina this year. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be some sort of record up there. There's so much snow up there. Yeah, I can do more of my videos on stream. I just like threw that together quickly. Before I do my videos, I usually have my each website on the visual I want, and then I can go through it quickly, and I don't have a script, but I tell myself for the video, okay, I'll talk about this, then this, then this, then this. So it's easier. I take like 10 to 15 minutes to set up before I record. So it's a little more bumpy doing it live, but if I know I'm gonna do my video in the live, I can set up before the live so we can have smooth video. And then I can give some shout outs in each one of my videos too. Is this the most Siberian snow cover since 2014, 2015, Is it? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. We could take a look. I saw meteorologists predict major snowstorms for this year because this year is looking like 2012. Though there's a lot of analogs that show that this is going to be a snowy year. Yeah. It doesn't guarantee it, but the odds look good. Yeah, so, I mean, if we take a look at this, let's go back to October 11th in 2025 or 2024. Yeah, definitely more than that. Although actually there was a lot of snow that dropped around October 11th in 2024. Let's see. It was close, but there's more right now. 2023 October, not a lot of snow up there. Not a lot of ice either. 2022 October. No, we have more than that as well. So that's October 7th. I mean, actually, 2022 wasn't bad. There was a decent amount of snow cover there, but there was very little ice here. We had a big gaping hole of no ice here. That wasn't a bad year. Well, this year we're actually not. It's not getting as you know. It's not getting down to the lower latitudes here, but it is spreading out a little bit farther here, out towards Europe. How's winter looking like for Northern Virginia? Again, I think we're going to have one or two nor'easters this year. We haven't had them in a while. And that anomaly up in the North Atlantic, combined with an already what should be enhanced polar jet from the NPO. I think this is a year for. I don't expect a ton of snowstorms to move through Virginia this year. Maybe just a few, but one of them I think will be big because of the setup we have out there in the Atlantic. I think it's inevitable that we could get a big nor'easter this year. Whereas for the upper Midwest and Northern Plains, I think there's going to be a higher frequency of snow, but I don't think we're going to have any of those major snowstorms. It's possible though. It's 100% possible. I think there's going to be a lot more Clipper action up there. Clippers. Alberta Clippers. Winter for Wyoming looks pretty good. I would say you'd probably want to be in southwestern Wyoming. Might struggle the most depending on where the jet stream sets up, but because I expect the central Rockies to potentially struggle. So I'd say northern and eastern Wyoming will probably be fine. We'll have a above average. Winter look for North Carolina. Listen, the Southeast typically struggles. I would say Western North Carolina is probably going to have an okay winter. If we do get one of those nor'easters and it sets up correctly, that would include probably Charlotte and the Durham, Raleigh-Durham region. Guys, I'm going to get off right now. Since I was out of town for my birthday, we're doing some stuff for my birthday today, since I was working for my birthday. So I've got to get ready, and I'm trying to figure out what I should do. Chat, do you think that I should go to the Minnesota Gophers homecoming game? Do you think I should go to downtown Minneapolis, you know, and do a little bar hopping? Or this is a big one here. Should I just go to the casino? Or should I stay home with my kids, who are 2 and 5 months old, and watch Princess Dolphin Barbie, whatever that movie's called, with my son for the 80th time in a row? Oh, thank you guys. He watches a show that's literally called, no, it's called Princess Barbie Dolphins. Oh my God, it's the girliest thing ever. My wife's got him on it. Stay with the kids. I'm with the kids every day, Brenda. When does Dad get a break? Game? I know, I think the homecoming game might be fun. Well, my mother-in-law would watch. She'd be with the kids. My wife's mom. Princess Dolphin Barbie. To all but watch Princess Dolphin Barbie. All right. I'll let you guys know what I end up doing. Game then kids. Well, the problem is the game starts at 8. The kids will be hopefully way asleep by then. All right. You guys are awesome. Enjoy your weekend. Again, I probably won't stream tonight because I'll be out for my birthday, but expect me to be back on tomorrow. Only reason I didn't stream last night was because my wife was doing Halloween stuff. So I wasn't able to stream and watch my kids at the same time. Although some people probably do that, but yeah, my wife would murder me if I wasn't giving them attention, watching them. As she should. All right, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you on... I'm going to post that video in a second. See you on Sunday. Thanks, everyone. See you.